Ray Egatz giving his opening statement.
My name is Ray Egatz. I'm running for Ward 2 Council. I want to thank the League for trying to sponsor this debate and thank all of you for taking the time to be here. I've lived in town for over 40 years. 4 years ago, our candidate for Ward 2 dropped out of the race at the last minute, and my name was placed on the ballot. Because of business commitments, I wasn't able to campaign or participate in that election in any meaningful way. So this is my first time running, my first time campaigning for elected office. Quite frankly, it's been much more enjoyable and experience than I anticipated. I have met many wonderful and interesting people and learned a lot more about the town that I've lived in for decades. The number one concern that people have consistently brought to my attention as I've gone door to door is the construction of the Avalon Bay apartments. I have been against rezoning areas in Wayne for this type of development for years, while my opponent, who's not here, has a record of supporting and voting for these types of projects. Instead of encouraging the 21st century equivalent of tenements and cold water flats that fire departments across the state have said are unsafe and dangerous. All right, what the township should be focusing on is bringing 21st century industries with clean tax ratables and good paying jobs to Wayne. And as important, keeping the industries that are currently here. Over the last few years, due mainly to the loss of businesses, some that have only moved a few towns away, Wayne has lost $225 million in property value. This in turn has caused a steep escalation in our township property taxes. My opponent has never introduced a municipal budget without a tax increase. It is my intention to make economic development, industrial economic development, which is the only realistic way to stabilize our township's tactics, one of my main focuses on the council. Along with this, if the next budget introduced while I'm on the council contains a tax increase, I intend to introduce my own budget with a no tax increase or a decrease. I believe that if an alternative no tax increase budget can be introduced, it can be passed. I also want to say, in 1984, our home and our neighbors' homes were flooded out in the second ward. At that time, the councilman for that ward was a man named Joseph D. Donato. Joe was there for us every day when we were flooded out. He was there to provide any help and assistance that he could. When Irene hit, we were flooded out of our homes again. This time, my opponent was the councilman, and he never showed up. He never came to see if we could use assistance. He never came to show any concern at all for my family or our residents. Not until I went to the next council meeting after we were back in our homes and publicly chastised and embarrassed him did he finally drive by to look at the debris that was left in the streets from where we were flooded out. When we needed help, he was not there. Residents in our township in general, and in the second ward in particular, deserve the type of representation and concern that Councilman Joe D. Donato showed us in 1984. My name is Ray Egatz. I'm running for Ward 2 Council. I'm asking you tonight to consider me to be your councilman and let me have your vote. I will be there. Thank you.